And welcome back to the best kept secret in the podcasting world, and for good reason. This is the Soapbox Podcast. I found out I got a great response from the Stop Social Media Pollution campaign. I did something a little different, which was basically write material before I went into the booth. I know that sounds counterproductive to some people, but I kind of enjoyed the improvisational side of me coming in here and kind of just talking and spilling it out. But I also got great fulfillment of actually writing down all these thoughts that I've had for so long. I've always had these ideas in my head. I'm like, oh man, I should write this down. I should construct that. There's a beginning, middle, and end to this thought. That string togethered sentence is really funny. This collective group of thoughts really works together. And eventually I just got tired of all this lost material that I found that I was kind of just losing and letting slip my mind. So I eventually started writing. I get such a huge fulfillment out of writing, just writing down my thoughts, ideas, opinions on whatever, and then going over them later and kind of editing them down and rearranging them and making a nice little tight piece. So it's kind of like the way I guess a stand-up comedian works. Well, most of them. The good ones, it doesn't sound like they are, like Louis C.K. His is all written and figured out, but he delivers it in such a great way where it sounds like he's just thinking about it right then and there. Then there's others like Billy Connolly who just kind of got an idea what they're going to do. They go out with a beginning and an end maybe and just kind of fill it up in between with fantastic stories. But that's chops, and that's just a general amazing character trait and personality that he has. I've always been a huge fan of stand-up comedy. I love George Carlin. I've said that before. And I kind of got that thing in my head where I realize what it's like to kind of have structure to something. If it's a thought, if it's to kind of – I understand that oratory process of the flow of dialogue and kind of putting together, just a good chunk of a thought. So – I'm learning. I'm a fan first, so I'm kind of learning this along the way that I go, but it kind of comes naturally to me at the same time. So that's what you heard before on the Stop Social Media Pollution campaign. This new one that I got now, it's called The Riff, and then I'm going to end something called Thank You. Inspirational videos. Now, I don't enjoy shitting on the idea of inspiring people, but I do want to spray some in the direction of those who deliver a disappointingly empty box, gift wrapped with shiny inspirational paper, garnished with a turd-stenched bow. Nothing drives me more crazy than lazy, mixed-messaged pseudo-motivational videos. These videos are purposely crafted to be inspirational videos, and that's what causes me to have on-set clinical rage. That some asshole with a 7D camera and a YouTube account farted out another empty calorie under the guise of living life to the fullest, or take the bull by the horns, or follow your passion, or any other generic statement that came up once they Googled inspiration. Case in point, the Make It Count video by Nike. This video was released and features a Sean Penn lookalike after he had a mild stroke to use the $10,000 provided by Nike to create a video about making it count, whatever the fuck that means. So Spicoli and his sidekick decide to journey across the globe until the $10,000 runs out. Smash cut to the montage of Brody Broseph gallivanting as shirtless as possible across Paris to South Africa and beyond, taking every opportunity to be a preening tool by running through the checklist of the script. Number 1, run through every activity like an antelope geeked out on methamphetamines, tearing assholes in every time zone. 2, cliff dive into a body of water like a 5-beer-buzzed 18-year-old at the cottage. 3, stop to take pictures of passing girls on a beach that would otherwise never look in your direction if there wasn't a camera pointed in their face. 4, stopping for the most unimaginative quotes plucked from Gandhi to Hunter S. Thompson. Not only does it make you look like an egotistical twit, but it has no context to you simply hammering a check provided by someone else to support a marketing campaign. So what's the message here? Make your life count? By fucking off someone else's money to embark on an express tour of the world? And I'm not missing the point of this video. I think they're missing the point of what making it count is. It's such a sign of the times. Rip through each country at Mach speed on a slow drip of Red Bull in an attempt to be enriched by the majesty and experience of this planet. What a load of shit. This shows what a bunch of collectively unimaginative, unappreciative people we have mouth-breathing on Earth. Thanks for the breakthrough life advice and most important ego masturbation, pal. This sends the message of making it count about as much as flying through the drive-thru and eating it in the driver's seat as your last meal before your execution. After seeing this video of his bogusly excellent adventure, Nike should have sent a drifter with a sharpened dildo to his one-bedroom apartment and stab him in the liver. Then donate the $10,000 to cancer or scientific research and stop trying to motivate this generation with sports equipment, drinks, and lifestyle apparel, with shitty videos that cost more to edit than the flight fare alone. I know this sounds vitriolic, but sweet chili heated Jesus, I really wanted my 5 minutes redeemed after watching the smelly digital discharge. If your life needs upliftment and fulfillment, a jog across the Sahara Desert won't fix anything. Do what I do and Google Neil deGrasse Tyson. And if you can stay attentive for 10 minutes, listen to him explain how our bodies share the same ingredients as stardust. And realize that everything that exists in this solar system is all connected and made from the same soup of space guts. Feel some wonderment and stare out the window with a deep sigh of relief and do something worthwhile to you. But please don't film it. Kane's Arcade. The story is essentially a young boy who starts his own arcade in the front of his dad's auto body shop. He makes all the games out of cardboard. He makes his own tickets and dispenses his own coupons, and you can redeem prizes, whatever. Nobody goes to it, except for one day, one of his dad's patrons goes in and decides to show Kane the biggest surprise of his life, begins a social media campaign to have thousands of people show up and play Kane's Arcade, just so the boy can get some sense of accomplishment for all of his hard work. Now, there's no doubt that this little boy is wonderfully imaginative, creative, and has a great work ethic at a young age. But the delusion that the ones responsible for this video and the motivation for hire flash mobbers are setting into this kid's head is unfair and downright irresponsible. This is a great example to the participation trophy culture we've invented at work. What happens when he gets shit-canned from his first part-time job at Kinko's when he's 18, and there's no organized flash mob to greet him when he's defeated and walking home alone alongside the highway? The do-gooder who filled him with his fake sense of accomplishment deserves a well-placed Superman punch to the larynx. The whole thing looks like a bad after-school special about hard work paying off, except the fact that this is real life, and nobody ingested this walked away with anything learned about hard work other than perhaps hiring a wannabe documentary filmmaker with a social media strategy to achieve all your dreams. If you really wanted to help this kid, tell him that he's creative but capable of more. Maybe drop an elbow through his mock-up whack-a-mole and let him spin his wheels to create something great. Again, I have nothing but love for this kid, and he is beautifully motivated, but making cardboard arcade games is no need a reason for a gaggle of groupies with signs like the outside of a bad teen pop concert. Real accomplishments deserve this praise, not raiding the shipping bay with a box cutter and endless rolls of packing tape. Now a turn towards the positive. I call this thank you. Now, as you can tell from my occasional tirades, I was fat in high school. Bad skin, too. Topping it off with even worse frames. An awesome combination for picking up the budding ladies, which is all you think about at that age. When you're an overweight, acne-ridden 15-year-old donning the legitimate nerd attire of glasses, out-of-date hand-me-downs, and wielding a sketch pad, I could actually hear the ceremonial 21-gun salute to my potential sex life. It fired loudly and immediately as I stepped on the bus in September. Actually, even getting the attention of anything resembling a girl was a far cry. All I got was a goofy blonde kid with a mushroom cut named Sean, but that sufficed. So to my surprise, I never had a girlfriend in high school. I never asked or got asked out on a date. Never kissed a girl. And there was not a chance in Satan's sweet hell to get a date for prom. I did, however, discover routine masturbation, which I'm almost certain played an integral role to me not showing up in a 3/4 length black jacket with a rifle ready to release an onslaught of angry fat virgin nerd rage on my fellow peers and faculty. So besides my old faithful left hand dispensing my creative output, art, it also helped keep the tire pressure of this Michelin man at a responsible level. There's a very redeeming and important dynamic to being firmly cemented in the platonic friend zone with girls. Having a strong relationship with a female in your life that's your own age is invaluable. Their point of view is such a necessary counterbalance to the way guys can process their thoughts, feelings, and emotions. I realize how lucky I was to have that in high school now. I was only taught to display them with anger or fear. So despite doing hard time and rotting in the deep confines of state virgin penitentiary for 4 years with the potential 5th-year option for parole, I did have the benefit of becoming really close with a girl on a personal and emotional fulfilling level. During those years, I went through a lot of family turmoil, and in turn reflected my motivation, outlook, appearance, and overall happiness. Simply put, I was miserable. But I found a platonic female friend who was going through a lot of the same experiences and emotional manifestations. So we clicked quite easily once we shared our feelings and thoughts, both bright and extremely dark. It was then I began to feel empathy and understanding from someone who shared my anger, sadness, loneliness, yet positivity towards our outlook for better days ahead. In turn, through our conversational marathons, I could lend a helping hand and provide support of her feelings and empathize with security that was nowhere near to be found in our respective families. I believe that she was one of the main reasons why I didn't take harsh actions towards myself. After a bad day or a horrible situation at home, it can push oneself to do so. I knew someone who cared for me, who shared this turmoil, would be hurt, disappointed, and most importantly, left alone if I were to remove myself from life's equation. You can read between the lines there. She was a fellow soldier with a great character, a strong personality, a great sense of humility and humor, who totally accepted me at my worst, mentally and physically. I can never thank her enough for how she contributed to my life. I've never shared with her the extent of the backbone she helped me regrow when it had been forcibly ripped out of me. She provided the friendship, trust, encouragement, and laughs when I needed it the most. So to you, my utmost platonic pal, I thank you. The 15-year-old me thanks you from the bottom of our hearts. I owe you indefinitely. Know that the person you are helped craft the person I am today. You are endlessly wise, talented, and undoubtedly capable of anything to provide yourself with happiness. I wish you and your family nothing but the best in your life. Thank you.
The Soapbox.